Welcome, everyone, to the Barbell Logic series, Hard-Won Wisdom, Decades in the Arena. I'm your host, Nikki Sims, and we are joined by guest host, Gillian Ward. Okay, today, Gillian and I are going to talk about the sensory experience of training. So this is what things smell like to us and what we see and what we feel with our hands and even what we taste and how what we do is so immersive.
And I think we have to let everybody know that we are stone cold sober when we came up with this topic. No hallucinogens, nothing like that. But
this is just how we are.
Yes. For me, the idea, even to bring it up, evolved out of just what a complete experience and to take into account the five senses.
Yes.
And from a couple of funny stories of being deprived of one of those senses and what the experience went like.
Ooh, I totally can't wait to hear about that. Okay, so let me start you off. Tell me some of your favorite things to see, smell, hear, taste when I have you visualize a powerlifting meet.
So when I visualize a powerlifting meet, when I think of the smell is a mix of Tiger Balm, ammonia capsules, body odor, testosterone, nasty, funky wraps, gym bags, and knee sleeves.
Yes, the knee sleeves.
Fresh donuts. Possibly some fast food.
Yeah.
And this is
a picture of health.
And it when you walk in and the air is thick and dense, there's a feel and a humidity in the room.
It's just thick with testosterone and sweat.
Yeah. It's the grossest but most awesome smell all at the same time. So if you're in the room, you don't notice the smell, right? But if you walk into the room, but you could bottle the smell of a powerlifting meet. Could you not?
And especially it's almost like you can feel the shift between the first squat and the third squat with the heaviest squatters, where it's just whoa, the air is way thicker. You hear a lot more slaps because by that point you're at these dudes who are squatting 800 pounds and their training partners are yelling and don't let down your family. You have to bring honor to your family name. And then they smack them on the back. And so everything is escalated between the first attempt and the third attempt. And gummy candy. I think of gummy candy when I think of powerlifting meets. Yes. Everywhere. Everyone's with their Sour Patch Kids. And you're totally right about the donuts, all the time.
I'll tell you what, though, this smells. Never mind. So I ran powerlifting meets for a number of years, a lot of them. So for a number of years, I was state chair for the SPF for North and South Carolina. And
cool.
Crystal Coast Strength and Conditioning ran a bunch of meets. So I guess you should be cleaning this stuff up as Are
we going to talk about the bathrooms at powerlifting meets? Because those poor toilets. So you would host these in your gym?
Host them in the gym, yep.
How many people would come?
Some of the meets were really small where there would be maybe 15 competitors and some of the meets would be 60 or 70 competitors.
Oh, wow. That's huge.
Yep.
Yeah.
Families, spectators, all that stuff. But there's no mistaking the smell of a meet.
The smell of a meet is, I think about it, funny enough. Yeah. There's just something special, by the third attempt deadlift specifically, how much emotion is in that room and how much you can just I never really thought about actually smelling what testosterone smells like, but I'm totally going to start to associate that now that you brought that up.
Well, think about lifters with superstition, I don't wash my knee sleeves, or they have a pair. Okay, so I am going to tell a gross story, and please, guys, don't think any less of me. We never let people deadlift without high socks or some kind of shin protection on the bar. So I had, and again, I love costumes and dressing up. I had many pairs of knee-high or thigh-high socks.
Thigh-high is my favorite.
Of my own.
Yes.
That I would keep at the gym, and I would pull them out, when I would deadlift, and I'd put them on and just ball them back up and
they
put
would
them in
stay
my
at the gym?
top drawer. They would. And anytime we had I can't believe I'm telling everybody this, but anytime we had a powerlifting meet and someone didn't have socks, I'm not going to let them compete. I'd bring them into the office and I'd show them the collection. You know, some of them, the Wonder Woman socks had capes coming off the back of them.
Yeah.
Like, you know, all kinds of fun stuff. And somebody would wear the pair of socks. I can't believe I'm saying this, especially when everyone's sanitizing everything right now. And when they would finish with them, I'd ball them back up and throw them back in the drawer. Oh, man.
These have historic sweat.
So, and the funny thing is, some of the times, like they were women's socks, and I was often giving them to men because I do not want to make a sexist statement,
right.
But the women are often better prepared.
100%.
So,
yes.
Right, they have their high socks. They've thought about their outfit. They want to look cute. Everything matches.
Absolutely. And dudes are like, wait, I have to wear something to this?
Yes. So they're out there in women's socks.
Yeah.
But I'm like, you know, these socks have special powers. Like they could stand up on their own.
They're basically equipped socks.
Yeah. They're repellent. They could stand up on their own. So
it has a rigid sole. You don't even need your shoes.
Did we just take like a huge departure from our original topic?
So all of a sudden now we're going to talk about our grossest habits. Okay, let's go somewhere else with this. What's something that you think of when you have workouts when you're training alone by yourself in your own gym and you're just training on your own, but then you have workouts where you're like around other people and maybe like you get to perform for them a little bit. Like, is there anything different that you pick up of just like me with just myself and then you lifting when you're around other people?
This is funny. Again, I'm going to reveal something I probably don't want to.
Yes.
I would tell you that everything is exactly the same, you know, infinitely focused. I set up the same way every time. Anybody that knows you would say Gillian is lying. She is absolutely a performer, and she's going to completely raise the bar if anybody's watching her. Whatever the shenanigans are, you know. So I'd like to believe that it's the same. So question, like, do you derive motivation from watching other people if you guys are in a group together?
Yeah. Or maybe not so much watching other people as much as I just can't wait till it's my turn.
Yes.
So I know that's not very nice. But yeah, it's just like, I want to go, like my turn.
I think we're both motivated by an environment that has an audience.
Yeah.
And sometimes, I mean, in recent years, that audience has become our phone and a way to share it.
Oh, that's true.
So
totally. Yep.
It's interesting. I mean, kind of getting to that topic is to look at even recording yourself. You know, does that level you up as opposed to nothing, nobody watching? For the past, I want to say 3 years, I have not recorded any workouts, recorded any sets of anything.
Oh, wow.
I've just gone out there and I do. My husband is a training partner and he is the most amazing training partner ever. But for the most part, especially, you know, we're alone in our garage here. There is no audience.
Yeah.
So, you know, what's different about that? And to me, I very much enjoy there being other people around. Some people absolutely hate that.
Yeah. You know what I noticed the other day is like when I go out into my garage, I'll wear like the most ridiculous shorts that no 35-year-old woman should be wearing. I'll wear like a sports bra with them. And then I'll like take a video of it and I'll put it on Instagram. But like I would never wear that outfit to a public gym. Isn't that weird? Do you ever, is that just me being weird?
I do exactly the same thing. And like when I go to a public gym, because I could work out in my house, in my garage in a sports bra and shorts. And if I don't like the way I look, I could hit delete. Right.
Yeah.
So the difference, like when I go to a public gym, I don't want to be wearing anything that makes me feel self-conscious.
Ooh, yeah, totally.
If I want to be immersed in the experience of my squat, I don't want to worry about like whether my pants have become sheer over my butt or whether like someone is looking at something or this is showing or that's showing. So I think when I go to a public gym, you know, I want to look nice. There's some public gyms have mirrors. I mean, I prefer to train without them. I'll probably be more put together than I would in my garage at home.
Yeah.
But I do try to put something on where I know that there's not going to be a self-conscious moment.
Yes. Okay. That would make sense because I don't want to be like picking wedgies all the time. Or just being like, oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So I have a very funny story.
Oh, good.
I'm going to say this may have to get bleeped. Totally different side of me. Anyhow, inappropriate. I loved talk about being superstitious. As a teenager, I always trained in like just baggy Hanes sweatpants. Like I want to say, even in the 90s, like workout clothes weren't what they are today. And they were so old. And again, seeing a theme here, I probably didn't wash them as often as they needed to be. I would roll them down. We're like a cute little tank. And I wore these things until they were like paper thin.
Oh my gosh.
And I was at, a very, very busy Globo gym, but in Queens, New York. Mm-hmm. And I was doing RDLs, but I was doing them elevated on like some kind of platform. So I could go like extremely deep, way below my feet, whatever that was.
Dear Lord.
I had a giant gaping hole in the crotch of my sweatpants that I did not know about. And a much older man that looked like Santa Claus, that maybe have been his 60s or something else, came over to me and tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Pardon me, miss, but you've got a giant hole in your snap."
That's what he said. He actually
And I had never heard the word. I had no idea what he was talking about. I was a teenager. I mean, it wasn't any reference. I never heard the word. I never knew that there was another meaning of the word. I didn't know it was a movement or anything else like that. I was trying to figure out what he was talking about. Come to find out of this giant hole in my sweatpants. I don't know why. Why did I tell this story?
Because we're talking about being comfortable at the gym.
Being comfortable. So from that day on, I never went to the gym again with a hole in my pants.
Learning experiences, folks.
And it's hard to throw them out. You spend all that money on them. You get attached to them.
Oh,
like,
totally.
I think about Lulus that I've worn away. Yep. Like I always make a joke. Like I don't have the hugest legs. I just say that they were put on too close together. So it's like I've always been envious of people that have space. Like not because of even visually what it looks like. I think about like running and like chafing and those things. Like my legs were just put on really close together. And I will often rub a hole in like the upper thighs of pants.
Totally.
And sometimes it's hard to get rid of those pants. So those are like wear in your garage pants, but don't, but don't go to the public gym pants.
Okay, here's another question. So if you've taken some days off of training, maybe you were on vacation or just like you were not going to be lifting for a while, what do you get most excited about, like seeing and feeling when you get back into like barbells and dumbbells and stuff like that, or hearing?
It's one of the annoying sounds to some people, but I love the sound of a deadlift, like of deadlift hitting the ground.
Oh, sure. Mm-hmm.
If it's done correctly, the people that slam it into the ground intentionally is a very bothersome sound to me.
Yeah.
But there's things like, I think we get attached to certain equipment. And in terms of like, let's say touch, for instance, like there is a barbell, your favorite barbell that you just love the feel of in your hands. And you go someplace else and maybe it doesn't feel that way. And as crazy as it is, it's not just the feel, but it's the feel based on like temperature and humidity. Like I train in a garage that does not have temperature control.
Oh my gosh.
And depending on it, like we'll have a humid day where like the plates are a little bit wet, or the sound of them. Like I love the sound of the plates sliding onto the bar.
Oh, that's the best. Absolutely.
Like for me, relaxing sounds, even though some of them are loud, rather than listening to like birds chirping at night or like waterfalls going or something. If you get the sound of a gym, there are things about that would be like awesome to me.
Like weights clinking and then that like zipper sound where the plate slides on and like sliding on a collar, collar clicking. That's so good. I look forward to like easily accessible chalk and like good chalk, like when you travel or something, you have to use like liquid chalk or like crappy chalk that you've had in a Ziploc.
So do you like the whole piece or do you like it powdered?
Oh, the whole piece.
Okay.
And what I really love about my home gym and other people in their home gyms too. Do you not break it? No, I like...
Do you keep it like a block?
I like it a block. And then over time, it develops this groove that you just like can slide your thumb through because it just like, it's just ready for your hook grip. So you have this like block of chalk that's just worn and it has like a little groove in it. And it's your piece of chalk. Do you powder yours? Are you some sort of savage?
No, I like a block. And we don't realize, but we develop these like crazy idiosyncrasies around these things and rituals that when someone else treats our stuff differently, like I am more possessive about my gym equipment than anything else I own. You could borrow anything from me. You could have anything. Take my car, take whatever you want or whatever. Put the seat back in the wrong position. The mirror's back in the wrong position. If you don't load my weights correctly in the gym, like if they're facing the wrong way or something's not right, like we're going to have a problem.
So before you and your husband started lifting together, did you have to tell him that? Or did he like make a mistake loading your plates at one point and you were just like, okay, listen.
He has become as much as a stickler about etiquette as I am, but it's definitely something culturally important. Like when I get people, part of the thing when I would train people at my gym in a group dynamic, it is very, very easy to teach people those things. Like you're going to load your own bar, you're going to put your own weights away. What differs is if you do personal training and you're assisting the person where they're not doing it on their own, they don't always pick up on that. But I believe when you're teaching about training, those things are equally as important as any part of the training experience. Like this is how you treat the equipment. This is how the equipment lasts you. And like, I'm sure you experience the same thing in jiu-jitsu. Like you have respect first.
Absolutely. Yeah. You have to be respectful of the person that you're rolling with. you have to wash your gi because someone else is going to be stuck in your armpit or crotch. You have to have clean feet. Like there's etiquette. What's your favorite barbell?
The old BNR bar.
Ooh, love it. Love that one. It's so great. It's like if you could have a soft barbell, it's like that one where it's just like, and it's even like thicker, right, than other barbells, but it just like feels so good.
And it's weird. And I tell people this, it's actually a conversation I had, I want to say in the last couple of days, somebody asked me, are chin-ups harder or pull-ups harder? Which is going to be easier? And like, it's what you do the most is what you're most comfortable with.
Totally.
So like there may be other bars that are so much better, but that bar is home to me.
Yes. I love that one.
So like with my equipment, like it's home, like my plates are home and I'm fortunate enough that I have my own stuff, but it's hard going anyplace else. Like the place looks different or the stuff feels different. When I first moved up to Vermont, there was a little bit of time that the garage gym was not set up yet and we had to train someplace else. And it was the craziest thing ever to like be on other stuff. Like you don't move correctly.
It's like you're wearing someone else's pants.
Yes. Well, like the platform is different. Your visual space is different. And there are people though, like a lot of our listeners that are forced to do that all the time.
Yep.
They travel, they train at different gyms, everything about it. The whole sensory experience is different, the look of the gym, the sounds of the gym.
Just the space around them. Is it crowded? Is it open? Are the plates far away? Like, do you have to walk back and forth a whole lot of times? Like, what's the music situation? So many things. So this would be cool to talk about. So if you have to lift somewhere foreign, like not your home gym or not your regular gym, what do you think are some things people could do to prepare themselves to still help them be able to get the best training and not let those other things like maybe take away from it or distract them?
I love that question. First is have your gym bag that's adequately prepared. So the things you can control, bring with you.
Ooh, yes.
And I've got friends, I personally don't carry collars, but I know plenty of people that carry even their own collars.
Totally.
Carry your own fractional plates.
Yep.
Control as much of that as you possibly can with things that are your own in your gym bag.
Lifting straps,
your own belt, chalk. I think the number one thing in an outside environment is people, especially if we go outside of just a lifting gym, people that don't respect the space. So we do a very specific thing and we are taught to respect the space around us. Don't walk in front of somebody when they're doing something, don't get in their field of vision. You go to a regular gym, like maybe right now they're not super crowded, but that's not what people are thinking about.
That happened to me on Friday. I go to this 24-hour fitness and it's funny because they have Eleiko equipment, but I hate it. I like my B&R bars so much better. Anyway, that's for another time. But there are 6 racks, like 3, they're facing each other. So it's like 2 rows of 3 and they're facing each other. And I'm on one of them. No one is on the remaining 5. And this dude comes up and sets up right in front of me. And then he like brings over this Bosu ball to do stuff on. And then he like keeps setting up like right down in like a low position so that the barbell's really low. And I'm just like, bruh, there's literally no one else anywhere. There's a pandemic and you're coming to breathe right in front of me with your weird equipment.
Yep.
Like, what?
That's
with Eleiko bars and plates. I was just like, oh my gosh, get out of here.
And sometimes you see gyms that have that stuff and I'm like, do they even realize what they have? Do they know how expensive this stuff is?
Seriously.
And you see that go to waste. So my number one thing would be like to secure the environment.
Ooh, okay.
And stuff like, here's the environment. I want to be aware of my surroundings. Mm-hmm. So I'll usually take note, like, what are the things that get in the way?
Yeah.
But I don't want to be distracted by them. So once I set up in my little space, I'm staying there.
Yes. Yep.
Whether it's like, hopefully I don't lose, like there are places you walk away to go to the bathroom, you're losing that.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah,
I think
totally
securing the environment, knowing what's around you, but like not getting caught up in it. I mean, and we go see things that are like outside of the norm for us. We could easily be distracted by it.
Controlling what you can control.
For sure. Controlling the environment, finding a relatively private space.
Yeah.
I will make sure I will do a visual check. I'll think about what my workout is, look at it, and I will make sure that the gym like has all of those things. And if I'm going to have to change course, I kind of want to know that before I start.
Totally. Because you don't want to be like between lifts, be like, oh crap, I can't even do this next one.
Yep. Yeah. I want to be able to make any of those changes. There are times that atmosphere absolutely contributes. Like I've gone to gyms and it's just got a really, really good feel.
Yeah.
What I find really difficult, especially if you go in and you're training with somebody, is a gym where you can't hear. Whether that's like a white noise and the din of a fan or like a kind of music that just like completely throws you off, not your kind of music.
Yeah.
But often I train with my husband and I want him to be able to hear my cues. Even if it's a discussion when you're like screaming to hear each other, I find that difficult. So I want good noise, but I don't want it to be so loud that I'm unaware even of my own like breathing or talking.
I found when I lift in another gym, I don't like to wear headphones for a while. And like when I'm at my home gym, I listen to music a bunch. But in a new space, I find wearing my headphones is like a whole other distraction. It's like I don't feel like I can be in the space because I'm not letting myself hear the space. So I like keeping my headphones off for a while, I find to be very helpful. I don't know if you found that.
I could see that.
But you don't listen to music, huh? Yeah.
It's not that I don't like music. When I'm training, I don't hear music.
Yeah.
So one of the reasons I don't listen to is because like music definitely has an impact on like heart rate, my breathing rhythm, those things. And some people want that because they want it to bring them up. I usually will try not to add anything that could potentially change that for me. So if I add music and it's something that's going to make my heart want to race or it's angry, I find that more hurtful for me.
Yep, totally. Okay, so what do you do if you're in a situation and maybe you have an example of something that has happened, but like something has caused your like heart rate to go up, like maybe your body temperature increases, like something has like thrown you off your game. What has maybe in your past, has something caused that? Like you were nervous about a squat or something, or a new stimulus has entered the scene and you're just like, crap, I need to get myself more under control.
Definitely with the squat. I, at a time, had gotten myself so worked up, it was like a Pavlovian response. Like you could say the word squat and I would be like, I'm running to the bathroom. Like, I need to go to the bathroom. I need to vomit. Like, my entire world is gonna.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So I think we get scared about certain things and get worked up. So for me, I had so much performance anxiety about it and expectation that just the thought, it's actually happening right now. My palms are starting to.
Oh my goodness.
Just the word squat could create a physical response.
Yeah. Wow.
It's knowing what, and if it is heavy, that's going to happen. But managing it, I do something a little bit odd. And anybody that's watched me lift like very, very heavy things knows that I like make a weird noise and yell before I lift. Only when something is, and that is, I don't know if it's similar to like what people do in martial arts. That is the moment for me that I let everything else go and everything else is gone and I am completely there. It doesn't matter what's going on. It doesn't matter. That is my centering moment. So
how did you figure out that that was the thing for you to do that would help?
So this is a funny story that I think I probably have told before, but I will tell it again. I was getting into lifting and Olympic lifting, and I had gone to train with Rip. And one of the things he talked about was that I lacked aggression. So he's like, you have to learn how to get aggressive. And I don't know if I would use the word aggression, but you need to get aggressive. Like you walk up to the bar smiling, like you lack aggression. And I didn't know that I could find like some kind of aggression. That was so different to me because in something like gymnastics, there's no aggression. It's grace and composure.
Totally.
Like, could you have aggression? Like, what is that? What does it mean to go all in? Like to utilize every last bit of muscle fiber that's in there. Like, how do you get? So to me, I didn't so much see it as aggression as focus. But I didn't learn that just then. I did not understand like how to get aggressive. So I would see funny things at powerlifting meets where people would like slap each other, smack each other, do all kinds of like absolutely crazy stuff. It's like, do this, do that. So I actually asked my ex-husband at the time to slap me before I lift. I said,
like just on the face?
On the face. I said, just slap me across the face. And he's like, I'm not slapping you. I'm like, just hit me. Just hit me or whatever. I'm going to try this out. Just slap me. And he absolutely refused to smack me. He's like, I'm not doing it. Like we're in the garage. I was getting ready to do like a heavy clean or whatever it was. And he's like, I'm not doing it. So finally I convince him. I stand there. I jut my face out. He gives me the softest tap that like, I mean, it wasn't even, I wouldn't call it a smack. It was just like a little face push.
Right.
And I burst out crying. Not at all like the response that I thought I was going to have. Like, why'd you do that? Like, I can't believe you hit me. Like, why did you hit? Like, it did not get me aggressive. It did not get me fired up. It just was like shocking to me because like no one's ever hit me in the face before. So
I'm like feeling for your ex-husband right now.
So like it didn't work. So I'm like self-conscious about making noise, but like in gymnastics, everything is about like, there's no facial expressions. You're smiling. You don't show strain.
Right.
So I spend my whole life learning to hide strain and not show it. So I was in the garage and at the time, I was trying to started yelling, not yelling, but like making a noise, like kind of a guttural bearing down Valsalva noise.
Okay.
And not only was that like, it just was really good at focusing me and stuff. It was like, it focused me really what it was. It was really just like a bearing down and tightening everything, which also prepped me for the movement.
Right.
But it became that moment. And it became the moment, like when people would hear it too, like everybody shut up. Like she's getting ready to do something.
She's doing it.
Because I'm known for like being silly and giggly. And it's like, you don't know what I'm getting ready to do. And it's something that stuck with me. I don't even know how we got on that topic, but I have a noise that I make. I'm not going to do it for everyone. If anyone wants to see it, go back and watch. Go back and watch an old YouTube video. My dad actually made fun of it the other night.
Well, it's one of those things that you had to do to like compose your senses so that you could do what you needed to do.
Yep.
That's awesome. Yeah. So I would encourage all you guys who are listening to kind of pay attention to what your sensory experience is with your training and with your competitions and with just a normal day in the gym. And like, you can start to really appreciate the things that kind of bring a lot of like unique and special experience to training because a lot goes into it. It's a physical and emotional experience. And these are some fun little things that add to it. Anything else you want to add? Any other cool stories?
So in terms of a sensory experience, those of us even that have all of our senses are not even so aware necessarily of the contribution of it. Like, for instance, have you ever lifted with a cold or when you have a clogged ear?
Oh, it's so weird.
Or, I mean, even like balance proprioception, like how linked the experience of lifting is to all of your senses. Like I know it's something that I mentioned when we were discussing this topic is for me, like I'm aware when I'm lifting of everything. I'm aware of taste. Like I know personally, if I get nervous or I'm about to make a big lift, the pH in my mouth changes and my breath has a different taste.
Oh, wow.
or in certain workouts. And then like if, I have a cold, not only is it going to be hard to breathe on my squat, but my balance is going to be affected.
Yeah.
And one really funny, weird experience about lifting and not able to see.
Oh, yeah.
So we believe like that we've been taught to feel everything and that we don't use mirrors, right? So we feel where our body is in space. We're proprioceptively aware of where our body is in space. Our vision is enormously helpful. So if you ever try to stand on one leg and balance or whatever and close your eyes.
Yeah.
Back in 2008, I was training for the CrossFit Games at CrossFit NYC. And for a very brief period of time, maybe a couple hours, something, their electricity was shut off. And I was a couple weeks out from the games, and my coach at the time, the workout program for the day was something called Grace, which is 30 clean and jerks for time. And we're not on the ground floor. We're in a building in Manhattan. There was no light, or it may have been dark, so there was no light coming in. And he's like, "You're going to do it in the dark. Like, this is CrossFit. Like, what's not CrossFit about this?"
True.
And chasing the barbell around.
If only they had done the sledgehammer drive in the dark, you probably would have been great.
And like not having a visual focal point, certain things that we don't think of. So that was my experience about training and not being able to see.
Oh my gosh.
I got through it. I did not get injured.
I just wouldn't want to let go of the bar.
I don't remember what I did. I just remember thinking, I don't want to knock it, but I was like, come on, we got to do a little bit better than this. Like, this is not okay. And that is a totally worthless thought that has no point.
It's just a neat thing. It's one of your many cool training experiences that add to the mosaic.
But I think the gym as a whole, like scent has such a strong connection to emotion.
Ooh, yeah.
And I think for me, like scent from childhood, like the smell of a gymnastics gym will like make me tear up. Like it is an amazing memory. It's such a nostalgic memory. And for me too, like I said, the scent of a gym, not necessarily the crazy smell of a powerlifting meet, but
like the rubber mats.
Yes.
Stuff like that.
Yes. Yeah. The rubber mats, like the smell of the weights, like and things you don't even realize, like they're so subtle, but that you're smelling. So like to me, just I love the scent of a gym.
Yes, that's so great. Awesome. Well, thanks for taking us down that road.
This was a weird one, huh?
Good.
I take it back.
No, I know everybody's going to start noticing the stuff that they appreciate. They just didn't know that they did.
I think they appreciate and the things also that will turn you off in terms of your senses about the experience. Like, do you have anything for you that's like, this is bad?
Oh gosh. There is like some music that I just I'll get like hateful, not towards other people, but I'll just get negative, I guess is a better way to put it. Like dubsteppy stuff, where it's just like Transformers who are mad. And it's just like that kind of stuff. I can't. And then like some kind of metal, it's just like if it's angry, just yells, I'll shut down. And it's just like I can't. I've left gyms before in the middle of a workout because I couldn't do it. So that's one thing for me that I can't handle.
Totally agree with you.
Yeah. And like things that bum me out are like crappy collars. Like I put my collar on a bar and they're so crappy that the weights just slide off and slide off and slide off. Like that'll annoy me so much that I won't ever want to go back to that gym unless I have my own collars.
A floor that's not level.
Oh, yes. Oh,
and I think the other thing is we impose like our wishes, our construct on a gym. Like I'll go to a gym that only has hex plates, but it's not a gym for like weightlifters or powerlifters where people deadlift. Right. And I'll be so angry at the gym. And then I'll look at the gym and the audience they're trying to attract and be like, Jillian, get over it.
They don't care.
Right.
It's going on a leg press. Yeah. Yeah. Do you have any like smells or sounds or tastes that you're just like, ah?
Same with you with the music.
Yeah.
And once I start working out, it's not something that I would even notice, but in terms of sound, I could say this from having years of owning my own gym, the sound of gossip.
Oh.
I don't mean like small talk or people having a conversation. If I ever hear somebody making fun of somebody or speaking negatively or gossip, anything, like, and if you see somebody not doing something right, like go over and help them. So I think for me, I mean, that's not something I experienced so much, going out and visiting gyms, but that was something that like occasionally I would hear owning a gym.
Yeah.
And I would just like kind of tune into it and be like, this has no place here.
Yeah. That's not the environment that you want to have. Yeah. That's a good one. That's the worst when that happens. Okay, cool. Awesome. Well, thanks for tuning in today, folks. Have fun finding some weird stuff to decide that you'd like or don't. See everybody next time. Thanks, Jillian.
Thanks. Bye.